Hello. Today we are discussing the Delta Presbyterian Child Protection Policy. Delta Presbyterian Church has an active ministry that brings the message of Jesus Christ to children of all ages. Delta will present this message in an environment that does not practice, allow, or condone physical abuse, emotional abuse, and/or sexual abuse of minors. The Child Protection Policy sets guidelines to prevent, report, and investigate abuse or claims of abuse, and to ensure intervention and treatment if abuse occurs or is suspected of having occurred within the church setting or as part of Delta programs. Ministry to children is a privilege. This policy provides safety for Delta staff, members, and volunteers who have agreed to participate in the delivery of such ministry through the various educational and fellowship opportunities sponsored by Delta. Let's begin.
Why do we have this program?
1. To make the church a safe place for children and youth. 2. To protect workers in our church from false allegations of abuse. 3. To safeguard our church's legal risk by establishing a program that meets the test of reasonable care. And 4. To design a program that meets the above goals while maintaining the integrity of church programs and staffing needs.
What exactly is child abuse?
Under Michigan law, child abuse is defined as harm or threatened harm to a child's health or welfare that occurs through non-accidental physical or mental injury, sexual abuse, sexual exploitation, or maltreatment by a parent, a legal guardian, or any other person responsible for the child's health or welfare, or by a teacher, a teacher's aide, or a member of the clergy.
Who is considered to be a child?
A person who is under age 18.
How do we protect the children of Delta?
Basically, we practice the buddy system by having a minimum of 2 adults present at all church-sponsored activities, which include children or youth, unless an activity is held in a public location. In addition, there will be a minimum of 1 adult to 10 youth during any activity. If adequate supervision cannot be provided, the church will not sponsor an activity.
The most common activities involving children are Sunday school and nursery. What are the guidelines for them?
For Sunday school, if there is only 1 adult in a classroom, there will be another adult available to check on the classrooms and to help as needed. Random visits may be made to Sunday school classrooms during class to monitor activity and teaching procedures. Also, periodic inspections will be made of those areas of the building that are isolated from view. Those with oversight of church education will periodically visit all Sunday school classrooms. This also applies whenever childcare is being provided at the church. Toddlers will be supervised by at least 1 adult with an additional caregiver available as needed. In any event, the ratio of caregivers in the nursery during the worship service will not exceed 4:1. Children left in the nursery will be released only to family members or their designated substitutes. Pagers for parents are available during worship services. If a child is ill, he or she cannot be left in the toddler room. Contact the parents so that the child may be removed. Do not administer any medications.
If I find myself the only adult in the room, what should I do?
Leave the door open.
What if a child needs to go to the bathroom? What do I do?
Children who are in kindergarten through 3rd grade should use the buddy system when using the bathroom. If the child is a preschooler, you should take him or her to the toddler room bathroom. Leave the door ajar. Also, unless the child is your own, have another adult in the room.
What do I do if a child is behaving badly?
Under no circumstances should you use corporal punishment or discipline a child or youth by physically striking or pushing a child. Try distraction through redirection or removal from the situation or timeouts. If necessary, get the child's parents.
So I can never touch a child or youth?
This matter needs to be handled with a great deal of thought and caution. You must follow clear and sensible judgment. For instance, you may not touch a child's breast, buttocks, genital area, inner thigh, or the clothing covering the immediate areas of those parts of the body. This is absolutely not allowed. However, if it is necessary to touch a child because it is required for hygienic care, such as changing diapers, you may do so if you have the parent's permission to do so. Use protective gloves and a new disposable pad for each diaper change, and wash your hands afterward.
What about hugging?
Hugging is allowed, but if a child resists, do not force it. In general, you should avoid one-on-one meetings. If you must meet one-on-one with a child, keep the door open.
What if a child needs to be driven somewhere?
Drivers for children and youth activities must be at least 21 years old and have a valid driver's license. In order for an adult to drive alone with children who are not related to the driver, there must be at least 2 children in the car unless a parent has given written permission. Any activity for children which is not held on church property will also require written parental permission. Parents may sign an annual permission slip to be kept on file to fulfill this requirement.
What about the time before or after an activity?
All youth will be supervised before and after an activity according to the wishes of their parents.
Okay, this is the hard part. What if I believe abuse has occurred?
Any suspicious behavior or any inappropriate behavior between a worker and a child or youth must be reported as soon as possible to the pastor. If the pastor is not available or the pastor is the alleged abuser, then notify the clerk of session and or the moderator of personnel committee.
I really don't have any proof of abuse, just a reasonable suspicion. Should I still report it?
Yes. It is not your responsibility to substantiate the abuse, but only to report it.
What happens next?
Under Michigan law, the pastor is a mandated reporter. The law requires that mandated reporters report the allegation to the Michigan Department of Human Services by calling a special hotline immediately, followed up by a written report within 72 hours. Our policy requires reporting within 48 hours. The state will then determine if it is appropriate to conduct an investigation. Your part in the process will be kept as confidential as possible. The pastor will also notify the child's parents. The church's attorney, insurance company, and session will be informed, as well as the presbytery. If an allegation of abuse is made, the alleged abuser will be informed of the allegations and suspended from all leadership roles in the church, including any roles involving children, until the investigation is completed. If the allegations are found to be false, then the person may resume his or her roles. If the allegations are found to be true, the offender must continue under censure and be dealt with according to church disciplines as stated in the Book of Order.
What if the media finds out about the investigation? Suppose the congregation has questions.
Session will appoint a spokesperson to be available for the media, as well as to communicate any necessary information to the congregation. The right to privacy for the child involved, as well as for the accused, will be protected.
I would like to volunteer to work with children and youth of the church. What do I need to do to be qualified?
If you will be working regularly with the church's children, you must be a member of the church for at least 6 months, unless Session allows an exception to this requirement.
Anything else?
Oh yes, you must be screened. Screening involves one or more of the following: a primary screening, a personal interview, reference checks, and a criminal record clearance. The primary screening form and a personal interview form may be found attached to the child protection policy.
Then what?
You must be trained regarding the child protection policy. You will be asked to annually sign a statement indicating that you have read the policy and agreed to comply with it.
Does our church's child protection policy apply if I participate in the Kids Hope project?
No. In that case, you will need to follow the Kids Hope policy. Delta Presbyterian thanks you for your willingness to ensure that our children are safe and protected.